Imagine a head coach who hasn't even coached a single game and already half the media and insiders are rooting for him to fail. Why? Because he dared to believe in the rookie everyone doubts. This isn't just football drama, this could change the Browns' entire future. And when the dust settles, one question remains. Will belief and talent rewrite the NFL narrative, or will the doubters prove devastatingly right? This is the side of the NFL they don't show on TV. Subscribe and stay ahead. Todd Monken's hearing sent shockwaves. Not quietly, social media, podcasts, and radio lit up instantly. Critics weren't just skeptical, they were rooting for him to fail. Why he dared to believe in Shedeur Sanders, the rookie everyone else questioned. But that's only the beginning. Imagine being in a league where your potential isn't enough. Your talent, your record, your work ethic, none of it matters if the media has already picked a side. That's the reality Shedeur Sanders stepped into before a single preseason snap. Reporters and fans alike questioned everything. Can he handle the pressure, they asked. Is Monken the right guy to lead this offense? The more Todd Monken showed confidence in Sanders, the louder the critics became. It wasn't just professional doubt, it was a campaign to undermine a young quarterback before he even had a chance. Anonymous sources, hot takes, predictive headlines, every tool in the modern NFL's rumor machine was deployed. And yet Sanders remained calm, unbothered, focused. Every criticism seemed to sharpen his resolve rather than shake it. Robert Mays of The Athletic laid it out plainly. Monken's hire could go either way. In the best-case scenario, this is a career-defining opportunity, the Bruce Arians 2 story, a longtime assistant stepping up and surprising the league. But the worst-case scenario, Monken is a placeholder, a stepping stone for management to keep things moving while they wait for the real head coach. And the fans, always vocal, were ready to explode if the offense underperformed. Imagine a room full of analysts and fans already judging before a single snap. But here's the twist, this isn't just about Monken, it's about Shedeur Sanders and the power of belief. The same people calling for the coach's head were doing it because Sanders dared to exist on his own terms, and it gets deeper. The Browns' ownership has a history of overcorrecting, firing too fast, holding on too long. Past mistakes like the Rob Chudzinski debacle still echo. Analysts debated, is Monken a one-year placeholder? Or is this a multi-year plan where a coach and quarterback grow together? The answers are unclear, but the tension is undeniable. This storm of doubt, speculation, and media hype didn't just make headlines, it set the stage for a showdown that could define careers. And as the season approaches, every throw, every play, every decision will be magnified. The question isn't just whether Monken or Sanders can succeed, it's whether they can survive the pressure of an NFL ecosystem that already picked sides. The moment Todd Monken's name was announced as the Browns' head coach, the NFL rumor mill exploded. Critics didn't wait for the first preseason snap. They weren't just skeptical, some were actively rooting for him to fail. Why? Because Monken had the audacity to back Shedeur Sanders, a rookie quarterback the league was still debating, dissecting, and in some circles dismissing. That loyalty instantly put Monken in the crosshairs. In the NFL, supporting a young star is supposed to be noble, but in this climate, it's controversial. Reporters questioned his every move. Analysts predicted doom before the season even started. The narrative, Monken might be nothing more than a placeholder, a temporary stopgap while the front office readies the real coach. Some whispers even suggested this hire was designed to fail quietly, giving management plausible deniability if Sanders underperformed. And yet Monken remained composed, unshaken, committed to giving Sanders the chance the rest of the league hesitated to offer. The stakes weren't just a win-loss record, they were about reputation, credibility, and legacy. Robert Mays of The Athletic framed it clearly. Monken's tenure could go two ways. In the best-case scenario, this becomes the Bruce Arians 2 story. A longtime assistant seizes an opportunity and exceeds all expectations. But the worst-case scenario, Monken is a temporary figure in a fragile ecosystem, a coach hired to maintain the status quo while the Browns plot their next big move. Analysts question whether the front office saw this as a two-year investment or a fleeting experiment. Every decision, every call, every play in the upcoming season would be scrutinized not just on merit, but through the lens of expectation and fear. And it isn't just about Monken, it's about Sanders and how a quarterback backed by his coach can challenge the status quo. Critics want to see Monken fail because they doubt Sanders, because they fear what happens when a rookie defies the system. Browns' ownership, notoriously reactive, quick to fire, slow to correct, adds another layer of tension. History shows overcorrections, miscalculations, and public debate. This hire sits at the intersection of caution and courage, a gamble with careers on the line. As the season looms, the drama isn't just about wins and losses, it's about survival. Can Monken and Sanders rise above the speculation, the whispers, and the doubters? Or will they become another cautionary tale in a league that thrives on drama as much as football? One thing is certain, every game, every snap, every decision will feel magnified because the NFL and its fans have already set the stage, and the spotlight won't let them hide. The Cleveland Browns have never been a team that quietly navigates the NFL's high-stakes chessboard. Every move, every hire, every draft pick is dissected, debated, and often criticized within hours of announcement. And when Todd Monken stepped in as head coach, history was ready to repeat itself. Browns ownership has a pattern, quick to correct perceived mistakes, sometimes too slow, sometimes impulsive, and rarely predictable. That unpredictability defines not only the front office, but also the environment Shedeur Sanders is walking into. Over the past 2 decades, the Browns' draft strategy has been scrutinized at every level. Remember when Rob Chudzinski took the reins, the ownership overcorrected in ways that left lasting ripples, a delicate balance between patience and panic. Kevin Stefanski's era brought hope, yet it also showed how even calculated decisions could be derailed by impatience or miscommunication. And then there's Freddie Kitchens, whose short-lived tenure reinforced a reputation. The Browns can pivot in seconds, and the public never fully understands why until it's too late. This history matters now more than ever. Todd Monken isn't stepping into a blank canvas, he's stepping into a boardroom legacy of rapid decisions and high-stakes gambles. Ownership's track record shows a willingness to act decisively, sometimes in the wrong direction, but also a rare ability to spot potential when they see it. That's exactly why Monken's support of Sanders is so significant. The front office, familiar with the pitfalls of indecision, has made a calculated bet. Invest in a coach who believes in a young quarterback despite outside pressure. Drafts have been both a blessing and a curse for the Browns. Their willingness to gamble on young talent mixed with a history of overcorrection creates a landscape where every rookie acquisition is magnified. Sanders isn't just another quarterback. He's the product of a system that has historically oscillated between extremes, impatience and overcommitment, hype and dismissal. And Browns ownership, well aware of that history, knows that the next move could define a decade. As the season approaches, the question looms. Will this calculated risk pay off, or will the Browns' pattern of abrupt decisions create another short-lived experiment? For Monken and Sanders, the stakes are crystal clear. They're not just fighting games, they're navigating decades of front office precedent, ownership strategy, and public scrutiny. Every snap, every call, every draft pick now carries the weight of a franchise that has been scrutinized, criticized, and second-guessed for years. Success here isn't just about wins, it's about rewriting a narrative that has haunted Cleveland for decades. Shedeur Sanders isn't just a quarterback. He's becoming a force that teams, analysts, and even the league itself can't ignore. In a sport built on hierarchy, veterans, and cautious front office calculations, Sanders is rewriting the rules before he even takes the first snap of the regular season. His influence stretches far beyond the field. From the moment he entered the NFL conversation, Sanders has sparked debates that would make even the most seasoned analysts sweat. Critics questioned his leadership, his ability to handle pressure, and whether having Deion Sanders as a father was a blessing or a distraction. But Sanders has quietly flipped the script. Every viral highlight, every social media moment, and every instance of public support chips away at the doubters' narrative. His presence alone is shifting perceptions of what a rookie quarterback can do in today's NFL. Off the field, his influence is equally undeniable. When Sanders dropped his first Nike collaboration, the results weren't just record-breaking, they were historic. Nike servers crashed, resellers scrambled, and the internet exploded. Every executive in the league had to take notice. Sanders isn't just athletic talent, he's cultural currency. He has a rare combination of on-field potential and off-field influence that can redefine how franchises measure value. This isn't about marketing hype, it's about actual leverage, and Sanders has it in spades. Even within his own locker room, the shift is palpable. Coaches who previously relied solely on traditional hierarchies now have to account for Sanders' presence, his input, and the unique aura he brings to the team. Rookies see him as a model for leadership. Veterans recognize that ignoring him could be costly. Reports suggest that even subtle team dynamics, from practice rotations to media interactions, are being adjusted to accommodate the weight of his influence. And here's the most striking part: Sanders' rise isn't reactive. He isn't chasing validation or trying to prove anyone wrong. Every decision, every calculated move is about building his own ecosystem of respect and results. Analysts, fans, and even opposing teams are left scrambling to keep up. His influence isn't confined to Cleveland or the NFL. It's spilling into culture, into media, and into conversations about what it means to be a generational talent in a league notorious for skepticism. By the time Sanders takes the field, the stakes are already higher than anyone anticipated. The league may still debate his draft position, but his influence is undeniable. And as the season unfolds, the question becomes not whether Sanders will succeed, it's whether anyone can keep up with the ripple effect of his rising power. What's happening around Shedeur Sanders isn't just a Cleveland story. It's a warning sign for the entire NFL. Analysts, coaches, and executives are scrambling because the rules of evaluation are changing, and those who rely on old patterns risk being left behind. Sanders' influence exposes a vulnerability every franchise quietly fears. The league is no longer the sole gatekeeper of talent narratives. Across the NFL, there's a pattern emerging. Teams that once dictated storylines from draft position to media narratives are realizing they can't fully control the conversation anymore. Social media, sneaker culture, and fan-driven engagement are creating an entirely new form of currency. A rookie like Sanders can break records off the field, dominate cultural attention, and force executives into reactive positions. No amount of internal analytics or veteran endorsements can fully account for this kind of influence. The risk for franchises is twofold. First, traditional scouting and coaching evaluations are suddenly insufficient. Analysts can debate a quarterback's mechanics, decision-making, or leadership all they want, but fan-driven outcomes, ticket sales, merchandise, social engagement, are influencing real revenue streams and public perception. Sanders' Nike sellout wasn't just a marketing success. It was a tangible demonstration that influence can outweigh conventional measures of readiness. Second, there's the pressure on internal dynamics. Young players now have to navigate a league where a rookie's cultural weight can shift locker room hierarchies. Coaches like Todd Monken face scrutiny not only for their tactical decisions, but also for how they manage the presence of a player whose influence extends far beyond the playbook. Front offices are realizing that misjudging Sanders isn't just a personnel mistake. It's a brand and cultural miscalculation that can cost millions and erode fan trust. Some teams may try to double down on traditional power structures, ignoring the disruption. Reports suggest that in certain markets, front office executives are already debating whether a rookie's off-field influence threatens veteran authority or coaching credibility. Others are scrambling to find ways to integrate this new form of power into their strategy, realizing that ignoring it outright could be fatal. The broader risk is clear. The NFL's formula for success is shifting. Talent evaluation, media narratives, and cultural relevance are now intertwined. Shedeur Sanders has become the poster child for this transformation. Every decision, every move, every conversation about him is a test for franchises nationwide. Teams that cling to old paradigms may find themselves irrelevant, while those who adapt can leverage this new reality into unprecedented advantage. The league is watching, the fans are watching, and the clock is ticking. Sanders isn't just a quarterback, he's a signal of a new NFL order, one that rewards influence, foresight, and the ability to navigate a world where culture and performance are inseparable. The reaction to Shedeur Sanders has been explosive, and not just among Browns fans. Across the NFL, the media is polarized and social platforms are on fire. Analysts, reporters, and insiders are scrambling to interpret what's happening, but the truth is nobody has a clear playbook for this level of attention. Sanders didn't just enter the league, he entered the cultural conversation, and the response has been instantaneous, intense, and impossible to ignore. Fans have made their stance loud and clear. Social media threads, viral TikToks, and fan pages dedicated to Sanders have skyrocketed in engagement. It's not just admiration, it's near-universal belief in his talent and character. They're challenging traditional narratives, questioning analysts who doubted him, and openly celebrating his potential. Every sneaker drop, highlight reel, or interview becomes an event, with fans acting as his unofficial marketing team. This isn't hype, it's a statement. The audience has decided, and their vote carries weight that NFL executives cannot ignore. Meanwhile, the media landscape is fractured. Some reporters are skeptical, framing Sanders as a high-risk rookie, citing pressure, inexperience, or locker room dynamics. Others are more supportive, highlighting his resilience and professionalism. What's remarkable is the speed at which these conversations evolve. A single tweet can shift the narrative, a viral clip can validate or discredit an analyst's take, and the line between fact, opinion, and speculation blurs completely. The old gatekeepers of information, newspapers, traditional broadcasts, and punditry no longer dictate the story. Fans and social media are doing that. This dynamic has created tension among insiders. Critics accuse others of favoritism or bias, while supporters argue that Sanders is being judged unfairly. Even respected commentators are caught in the crossfire, forced to navigate fan outrage while maintaining credibility. Every segment, every podcast, every article now carries the risk of public backlash or viral amplification, and franchises are paying attention. What the media amplifies affects ticket sales, merchandise, and even sponsorships, proving that public perception is no longer secondary to on-field performance. Some fans believe this level of scrutiny is unprecedented for a rookie. Reports suggest that Sanders' visibility and influence may be unmatched in recent history, blending on-field potential with cultural relevance in ways that challenge every NFL assumption. Teams that underestimated him are now scrambling to gauge fan sentiment accurately, realizing that the market's judgment isn't just symbolic, it's a financial and reputational reality. Shedeur Sanders isn't just a topic of discussion, he's a movement. Every reaction, every post, every debate is evidence that the league is witnessing a new era of influence where fans, culture, and media interact in real time, reshaping how talent is perceived and how narratives are formed. The reaction to Shedeur Sanders has been explosive. Across the NFL, fans and media alike are struggling to keep up. Sanders didn't just enter the league, he entered the cultural conversation. Social media is on fire, analysts are scrambling, and every highlight, interview, or sneaker drop becomes a viral event. Fans aren't just admiring him, they're taking a stand. Viral threads, TikToks, and fan pages have turned into a movement, challenging old narratives and proving that public opinion now carries real power. The audience has already made its decision, and NFL executives are paying attention. Meanwhile, the media is split. Some question his inexperience, others praise his resilience. Every report, podcast, or article is amplified instantly, forcing commentators to navigate scrutiny from fans and insiders alike. Criticism sparks debate and support fuels viral momentum. Reports suggest Sanders' visibility may be unmatched for a rookie, blending on-field talent with cultural influence in ways that challenge traditional assumptions. Teams that underestimated him are now forced to reconsider. Shedeur Sanders isn't just a player, he's a movement. Every reaction, every post, every debate proves the league is witnessing a new era where fans, media, and culture shape the narrative in real time.